Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the rank 1 Terran player in the world, the reigning world champion. In the red, it's Clem, facing off against the best Protoss player out there, and the new GSL champion in the blue. We have herO in a best of 5 Terran versus Protoss finals to once again determine whether Clem's immaculate Terran mechanics can even contest herO's uncontrolled chaos in a match that's almost impossible to reliably predict. In fact, the only reliable prediction is me begging you to smash that like button and maybe even subscribe. Help me count the algorithm. And Jimmy, what do we have? 1,634 likes on this video, on this cast, and I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways because I don't know what else I'd do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better as Clem, waggling the Reaper, spots the Adept Shade and gonna dart and sidesteps it. Shade without as much vision because it's wearing sunglasses indoors or something, but now the Reaper has free reign and will hunt down a probe mercilessly. First blood goes to Clem, as it so often does. A Stalker comes out to try to ward it away, but Clem doesn't even care. He already spotted the Twilight on the low ground. He's just here for murder. But so is herO. He sent his Adept all the way across. The Reaper chased to the ends of the base. The Adept is knocking on the door and wondering what this crazy technology is that the Terrans have somehow invented. A door? herO's never heard of such a ridiculous thing in his entire career. But, alright. Dancing with the Hellion. Adept shades away. And after the GSL finals and the copious slathering of cheese that he was forced to defend when it came to Cure's bunker rush and then another bunker rush and then SCV pole bunker rush sort of strategies. It might be a breath of fresh air here for a moment in order to be facing off against a bunker on the other side of the map. But herO just decides to casually attack in with... What is this? You can't just attack. He recalls. Okay. He just walked in. I couldn't really believe what I was seeing. I was in the midst of some sort of, I'm sure, clever and profound thought process. Something that herO also may be foreign to him, but he just walks in. He kills a Hellion and a couple Marines. He loses a Stalker and an Adept. Now, mathematically, that was terrible. Emotionally, confusing. Psychologically, intimidating. As Clem now is going for the casual Cloak of Banshee, which has become a lot more common in this matchup. I'm not entirely sure why, because on paper, Blink Stalkers with an Observer should be everything you need to deal with it. But we don't play this game on paper. Alright, I'm not even convinced herO knows how to read. So, the Banshee heading across the map, it will have Cloak, and by the time an Observer gets across, it will see that the Observer probably should have stayed at home. Did he build a second one? He does. He has it back at home. Looking to switch over the barracks. Waiting patient. Sir, are you done with that tech lab? Just let me know when you're finished. Banshee coming in past the Spylon and the large pylon the map is named after. Looks real cool. And the Banshee just kind of dies, knocked out of the sky. Observer allows the detection, and okay, so it killed 4 probes. I guess it kind of keeps, and now herO loses his Observer on the other side. So this preempts any sort of Blank Stalker aggression. If you don't have an Observer, you simply can't do the damage. That is a lot of Stalkers, though. He saw the Cloak Man. Did he see it? Never mind. I take it back. More probes are going to be slaughtered. There is an Observer here, but wait! Flux in! Banshee taken out. And I can't help but wonder. There's one letter I have. Why? He went for 2 Cloak Banshees. He kills 6 probes, but both Banshees are slapped out of the sky by a dozen Blink Stalkers here, and now herO's coming across the map. He already has his 3rd base done. Robo Bay is on the way. Wow, don't do it here. Oh my god. He just blunks forward. He goes for the siege tank. He preempted split the damage with the Stalker moving forward in order to eat the tank hits. And I would say he gets out unscathed, but there was some serious scathing going on. He loses 4 or 5 more Stalkers. He gets that first siege tank. But once again, we have to remember that herO has never asked himself whether or not he should. In fact, it's arguable whether or not he has the foresight to ask whether or not he could. He just does. And it's that violence of action. It's that spontaneous activity that somehow... Oh my! He catches the medevacs. He caught a tiny glimpse with the Observer. And doesn't end up picking off much more than a couple bio units. But if he picks off even one of those medevacs, all the shenanigans he's been up to have been worth it. Unfortunately, doesn't get it. And now the bio army is chasing it down, stalking the Stalkers in turn. And Clem with it seems like a bit of a vengeance coming across the map. You can't expand there, herO. It's like, what about a fourth? No, there's an army knocking on your, what would be considered a door. herO's going to attack his own gateway to make sure his weapons work. Meanwhile, the Reaper wall pylon will be taken down. The Cyber Core itself is vulnerable. herO's rebuilding it. Colossus is out. Charge lots catch a couple of the Marines. Siege tank gonna ward things away, and Clem just going to hit this angle as hard as he can. herO coming around. Charge lots just eating the Widow Mine hit. Splash damage across the board takes out the siege tank. And Clem stutter stepping onto the Colossus. Emotional support field actually splits the bio army enough for the Colossus to survive for now. Shield battery tops it off. Not too much damage done. Stalkers blink forward. And herO will live. He expanded to the bottom left corner as well. An Observer will spot the reinforcements coming across. He replaced that initial one, and now he's going to make it super obvious to Clem, so that way it's sporting here. Taking that watchtower as well. Extended Thermal Lance is nearly completed. And, well... Clem with more than enough units to dive on these Colossi. A couple charge lots out in front. Colossi step and slide to the left. Slide to the right. Now retreat! Retreat! Run! The Marauders are coming. What? herO is actually... You know what? Look at me. Ye of little faith. As herO just casually dismantles that attack, somehow manages to still take a Widowmine hit on the way out. But Clem tried to snipe off the Colossi and ends up getting most of his bio incinerated. The Viking count is growing. The Colossi is still standing tall. The most obvious Observer is taken down. But herO going to keep eyes on the Terran. Mostly by attacking directly, which seems to be his normal go-to move. Another Observer comes up. He spots the army, looking to pick up. He's trying to bait him into the stems. Does so far. Colossi take a big swipe, knocks out the Observer again. As it was pretty clear what was going on there. Did he catch a glimpse? Where are you going, Clem? There's almost no units on the ground here. He drops out again. herO, of course, goes forward. It's exhausting. Goes past the really, really cool energy bridges. There's no special effects there. It just looks very fancy. Widow Mine. Direct hit on the Colossi, but 4 of them standing tall. Stutter stepping back for now. And the Vikings overhead starting to get a lot of damage done. The Stalker count has dwindled, and the Colossus count is halved as well. More Stalkers coming up, looking to drive back the Vikings, but Clem covers them with the bio army. And herO, he's putting a lot together, but Clem is putting a lot down as well. herO has that 4th base. He's got 73 probes. But Clem is building the right army. And another display of herO's Forrest Gumpian Protoss and Clem's textbook Terran. We have Clem with a supply lead. He has the right army composition. He has good upgrades and a solid economy. But herO is also here. A triple drop off to the right flank. I don't think herO caught a glimpse of this one. And what he doesn't know can certainly hurt him. The drop into the main. There's a probe there as well. Guys, there's something in the main base, but the EMP doesn't quite hit the Nexus, but there wasn't enough energy for recall anyways. herO has to wander back to defend, targeting the Forge, but oh no, the Zealot's going through a choke point of his own design. Just gunning him down one by one. The rest of the army is scanned. EMP is going to start chewing through the gateway units. Where are the Colossi? They're still standing. He's got a Colossus in the Warp Prism. Another Colossus was off scouting. I don't know if that Colossus is intentionally in the Warp Prism or if he just rallied it to it. But 2-2 upgrades on the way for Clem. Just the weapon upgrades for herO. +2 so far. It was not a critical blow in the main, but certainly didn't help. The Forge is still depowered. Unfortunately for herO. Energy recharge on the Sentry. But Clem now with a Scandinavia of Vikings overhead. Enough to easily take down Colossi unsuspecting, or even suspecting, or even staring directly at him, really. At this point, the Nexus, he doesn't even, in fact, he'd love a recall on top of that Nexus in this position. Where is the army? He's gonna figure that out momentarily as the Zealots run right by. That Warp Prism out in front, Guardian Shield pop, Blunks over the top, more Stalkers from the back, who's flanking whom? And the Ghosts, not really in position. Able to take out several of the Vikings. Colossi get big swipes. Down to 2. Back over the top. Great stunner step on the Vikings. Well, step is a metaphor in this case, but the Vikings knocking down the Colossi so quickly in the Bio Army. More than enough to deal with the gateway units underneath. Infantry, weapons, and armor level 2. Vikings hit the deck. Their job isn't done. Needs to finish off that last Colossus. Indeed they do. The Stalkers blunk over the top. Actually, the Bio Army left without any medevacs. herO is battling his way out of this situation. It's unclear how he turns this fight around, but here we are again. herO loses the fight and wins it. I don't know how else to explain it, but in every metric, herO lost that fight. But somehow herO is banging down the door yet again. The Marauders come around the corner. Another Colossus shows up. The Vikings are back in the air. Oh no, that's a planetary. Goes back to the more malleable second base. Ship weapons level 1 is done, but now hotly contesting the Vikings. Just like the Colossus is lighting up the Marauders underneath. Force fields lock them in, but to what end? Trying to take down that bunker. Finally, Colossus gets taken down, but wait, there's more! Charge Lots come in for another round. Blink Stalkers still chasing down the Vikings. He's gonna knock out another one. The boys may have to be pulled, and indeed they are. The Zealots are traded out for some of the SCVs. And herO, again, we take stock of the situation, and his futures are not looking great at the moment. 148 to 104. Supply another Colossus. Where do they keep coming from? The robotics facility. Oh, don't be pedantic. Clem is in a decisively winning position, and has been for a not small amount of time. herO flatly refuses to acknowledge that. And he rejects your reality and substitutes his own without even needing hallucination, though sometimes supplementing with it. Clem has the army, but there is a real value in this level of aggression. The value is in forcing a panic that even Clem is falling prey to. In just retreating. The way herO takes these fights makes Clem think that herO has more than he does. Like, why would you attack with half the supply and worse upgrades? But here we are. Clem's starting to realize the situation. Warp Prism wanders into the Vikings, taken out with ease. Guardian Shield across the board. Vikings mostly knocked down, but the Bio Army. The force field's not quite enough to keep them at bay. Another Colossus tumbles. He's down to 1. Another Colossus. Wait, is that a... Can he walk up there? herO warping in some Zealots. But... Would you die already? Oh my god, he just repowered his Forge and finished +1 armor like 5 minutes later. herO warping in another round, fighting to the bitter end. The probes! Just making sure there's nothing left, no stone left unturned. And now Clem doing some, okay, alright, that's it. Clem takes game number 1. Though, it looked a bit, uncomfortable for a moment. Eventually, he's able to turn it into the victory that we expected from a while before. But oh my, herO. He certainly has a way to make things look dangerous. From walking in, it was not a good idea. I stand by it. Well, I don't stand almost ever, but it's probably not good for me. But I digress. Like and subscribe so I can pay for health insurance. Moving on. He just walks in with 2 stalkers and an adept. Walks out, recalls out with a stalker. What did he get? 2 marines and a Hellion. Was that worth it? No. You want to see me do it again? Blinks in, kills a siege tank. Loses 5 stalkers. Was it worth it? But he's cultivating an aura, a mystique. I wouldn't go that far. He's just yellowing it and hoping for the best, but here we are again. Game 2 on Persephone. Clem off to a solid 1-0 lead, but I would almost certainly... I would literally never count herO out of anything. Okay? 0 to herO. I'd say it looked like, for a few moments, Clem getting a little frustrated with how herO refused to acknowledge the situation in the game. But that might be because Clem will take the slightest opportunity to leave when he feels at a disadvantage. A marked difference. It's interesting that, herO is over 10 years older, or about 10 years older than Clem. He's been playing professional StarCraft 2 and before that Brood War for pretty much all of Clem's life, or at least the majority of it. I don't know if I can always attribute it to younger players. A lot of younger players, and Clem definitely one of them. Not so much nowadays. Have a tendency to be like, next game, go, go, go. But what's interesting about our, especially older Korean players, which is most of them at this point, they will fight, like Beyond, for example. Beyond, willing to fight for 45 minutes and propose a draw. And that has not happened once. That has happened multiple times. I think twice, but still, that's still weird it's happened twice. Like, they're just, it's their job. They'll spend all day. If it takes 2.5 hours to finish this best of 5, well then it takes 2.5 hours, all right? Whereas we could have played 4 Clem versus MaxPax finals in that amount of time. Best of 7s. But we got a game going on, I've heard. The Adept shades away, and herO has broken out the Stargate here on Persephone. Not too surprising considering that quick air distance, but a little bit spicy. Already seeing different builds than we saw the entire GSL finals, as Cure acknowledged the situation quickly that he was not going to contend with herO in a long macro game, and so didn't. Though I still very much recommend watching. It was one of the most intense GSL finals I've ever seen. There's been a lot of them, but still surprising to this day. Cure's signature, by the way, Clem, Cure's teammate as well. We got 4 Widowmines and a medevac. A classic tactic. But the Phoenixes are already in position. He's got 3 of them. He can pick up how many? 1, 2. Okay, well, this is awkward. He's gonna burrow another one. Trying to sacrifice. He goes for the Adept. Okay. Meanwhile, in the natural... Oh, okay, he gets that Widowmine. That's a huge deal. Can he energy recharge? I don't think he has the energy on any of his Nexi for it. Uh-oh. A single Hellion. 8 probes! The Hellion, actually. 6 kills on that Hellion. That's what ended up getting the damage done. The kicker there wasn't paying attention at the natural quite in time. And herO's down 33 to 39 workers. Despite defusing the mine drop relatively quickly. He didn't have anything else to deal with the Hellions with. So now, he's going to bring it on over to the other side of the map, but he's completely out of energy. Which means there's very limited Oh, he's like 2 stalkers. Back in my day, we were able to get damage done with a probe and a slow zealot. And a box of scraps. Okay, 2 stalkers is for the rich kids. Like, okay, herO. All right, Grandpa. Back in my day, they were called Dragoons, and they probably were on disability with how little they were able to actually move. Okay. Brood War is superior to StarCraft 2. All right, I got carpal tunnel at age 23. You kids don't. I couldn't even put the CD-ROM in the drive. Grandpa, stop! You're causing a scene. Sorry. Phoenix taken down. The Cyclone picked up and then put down into the unit's lost tab. And where does that put us now? herO did take a 3rd, very boldly early on, leaving him with a relatively healthy worker count, and now he's got charge on the way as well as +1 armor. Explicitly for those charge lots, because the charge lots do plenty of damage if they can get up close and personal. It's just that process that is usually the sticking point. The Widow Mines. Oh, he's gonna... Oh, no. Never mind. He doesn't even need to bait. The Widow Mines obliterate 2 Phoenixes and soften up the rest. He's gonna try to get some revenge on him. Actually manages to do so. But the Phoenix is cored out there. Much easier to pick off now. Templar Archives is on the way. I'm not sure if that's going to be for Storm or Archons. Probably Archons. I don't think there's enough time for Storm. But the Star Charge build here. Clem, does he pull the boys? He doesn't have a 3rd command center on the way. Storm for herO. If he gets there, that's an amazing spot to be in, but it's a long way from here to Storm, considering Clem is stimming across the map right now. herO has 7 zealots. Charge is about to finish. Does he spot? Did he see the Templar Archives? No. Storm is halfway there. Clem is more than halfway across the map. The thing is, you can't... He energy recharges a Templar. He's gonna hide the army off to the corner. Oh, but Clem takes down the rod. Oh no, the Widow Mines knock out another Phoenix. He spots the Templar Archives. But unfortunately, spotting it right before Storm means... Oh, he's trying to drag the Widow Mine hits in. Does a middling job of it. Storm done in 3-4 seconds, but Clem, he snipes off a Templar. But there's one more Templar. The Storms picks up with the last Phoenix, the siege tank. Templar backing up. Widow Mine's fighting so many hits. Another Storm takes out a medevac. Tank drops down. Charge lot slice it up. And herO, with just enough charge lots to continue chasing this for now. There's not enough energy for Storm. 10 seconds. And infinity. He's building more Phoenixes. He's trying to warp in the charge lots. Energy recharge. And those medevacs are nearly out of energy themselves. The Marauders continue stimming. Another Storm will soften up most of them. And honestly, well, he brought the... He forces the Widow Mines to lift back up. Another hit comes out. This other Widow Mine is literally hanging over his head. The Mine of Damocles here. The Marauders continue stimming forward, and he just can't get enough charge lots together to deal with this. The critical mass of bio, he's waiting on energy recharges. A single Archon snipes off the mine. Phoenixes continue coming through. Widow Mine hits both sides as well. A couple more hits. 87 to 113 supply, but herO is not going to give up that easily. He's coming in for more. The charge lots out in front, +1 armor is done. The Phoenix is desperately trying to gather energy, picks off another one of the medevacs, but the tide of Clem continues rolling in, breaking against herO's rocks, but I don't think there's any way to turn this all the way around. Thing is, though, Clem is on 2 base. Oh, Widow Mines again! Oh no, that Liberator! It doesn't snipe the Templar, but it will get pretty much everything else. There's no anti-air left. Energy recharge. Does he have Blink? No! Those are just stock Stalkers. More charge lots warping in. The Stalkers, how did... herO, why won't you die? Another Liberator. Never surrender! As the last Stalkers, their knees broken, the probes pulled, Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, and now herO, another Phoenix, another set of Widow Mines dragged out the probes in front of the Stalkers. 10, 12 probes dead. It's all... Oh, we'll all die together. He recalls out. The boys are pulled from Clem. I think that's a statement, not a strategy right there. He's like, oh, okay. We'll both lose workers then. Remember this? Here come the boys. There's no reason Clem needs to pull out CVs here. But here we are. The Templar Archives. Energy recharge. Oh, no. He lost the Templar. The Templar Archives. We won't even remember them now. The Liberator's overhead. And GG. Clem finishes off herO yet again. But herO goes down swinging. Oh, my. Oh, herO. A 2, 3, maybe even 4-minute death animation there. But a death animation nonetheless. herO again pushed over the edge. But we're not done yet. I don't think herO's one to just give up that easily. Clem on match point. We're going to game 3. Incorporeal. I love the way you die, herO. So entertaining. I don't have any clever statement like, herO, you know, for some reason... Well, herO, let's recount the... If we're going in chronological order, right, Jimmy? The last cast of herO. So, the last one before this was the GSL Finals. The match before that was against Rogue, where both of them played like straight-up Diamond Leaguers. herO wins GSL Finals. Match before that, walls in his own Zealots, warps into a walled-off location with Zealots because he couldn't figure out how to wall off and he messed up his base. And then recalls said Zealots out of his own base to escape. This is the type of player we're dealing with. All right, the drunken brawler Protoss. Emphasis on both of those. You know what? Just all caps. herO cuts a probe. He cuts a probe to block the NG block. The block there. Just a single probe. Usually you expand on 20 supply. He canceled his probe to get the Nexus. Clem trying to do... Once again, Clem trying to play... Wait. Okay, why do I feel like herO's winning, even when he's down 2-0? That's the herO effect. All right? You wanna root for him. He's the hero in every story. Jimmy. Edit that out. By the way, using the SOS portrait, which is kind of hilarious as well. I don't know what the history is there. SOS only recently finding more success coming back after his military service. But He wasn't using that in the last series I cast, so I don't know what happened between him and SOS in the last week or two. But I like to think there's either drama or love. Well, maybe both. All right. Druv. Moment of silence so I don't speak anymore. All right. Doing my best Protoss impression there. Hero's gonna wall off with the Twilight Council because, why not? Which means that the Hellions should be capable of scouting the Twilight Council with relative ease. By the way, there's Hellions. Gonna go with the reactored mines again after this. Similar build. This time around, though, herO. First time he's going with the hallucinated Phoenix Scout. This is what he used to great effect against Cure. Feels like he was like, okay, I gotta at least do something. He wants to try to drag the mine hits. Oh, he's gonna see the medevac in a sec. Yep. Just in case. I like how he kept it alive just to make sure. And get up in Clem's face about it. Just blatantly. Now he sends out another Phoenix that... Yep. Where you going, sir? Did you file a flight plan? Okay, you did. Well. Unfortunately, I never learned how to read. What do you mean it's in pictures? I'm also blind. I blink too much. He's gonna drop out the mines, and all of them are going to oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, what is this madness? Somehow only 5 probes die, which is a lot better than I thought that was. Force fields in the mine. Honestly, 5 probes dying and killing 3 mines is a lot better than it looked like that was gonna go as soon as the mines were locking on. So that goes from a disaster to an inconvenience. Honestly, 5 probes is definitely not that bad. If he gets the medevac with that last mine as well, and I don't know how he wouldn't, except by using the Selectal Army Hockey, so there are a lot of options, though. Raven sneaking by. Hello? Not again! Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal, Sentry. The Hellions finding damage. Only 3 kills. Again. It could have been worse. hero's probes are battle hardened, okay? That's what he's been doing. He's been leveling up his probe combat skill. Like, this is Oblivion. I haven't actually played. I think I played Oblivion when it was on, like, the original Xbox, I think. But never enough. I remember almost nothing. So, I'm thinking of playing the remastered version. But I don't have enough hours in the day. Alright, we've got 17 more Clem versus herO and Max Packs finals to cast before this Friday, so maybe after that. But considering the people in the comment section are my target demographic, and they seem to like games that I do, good games for the fans, after they like and subscribe, I'll take some recommendations. Like, is it worth sinking the time into? I played Skyrim, never finished it. I played Morrowind on the original. I know that one. I remember not knowing anything. Okay, I remember having no idea what I was doing, wandering around the world, dying a bunch, and never learning how to read or figure things out. Because that's how games used to be. We didn't have streamers and YouTubers telling you how to play every single second from start to finish the moment a game released. All right, back in my day, you had to, like, translate it from Korean in a replay in order to figure out how to play Terran. I don't know. I didn't play Brood War either, so maybe I'm losing a lot of my nerd cards, but nobody has physical media nowadays. And the charge lots eviscerate a couple Marauders, which were boxed in by the SCVs. What? He just freaked. Yup. Achievement unlocked. It comes in with 6 charge lots, recalls out, refuses to elaborate further. herO with another army. This army is not good enough, by the way. That's not enough stuff. Now with the rest of the charge lot, well, unless, why are you here? Oh, he gets both tanks. There is absolutely, Clem completely blindsided, because why would he be there? Both tanks dying makes this a lot more plausible, but a double drop, the charge lots here. Ooh, it's like the Zealots didn't even notice for a moment, but +1 is done. The charge lots slicing up some of the Marines. The Zealots so angry they're just gonna take down those rocks. That Widowmine drop is still in the back corner, by the way. herO pulled away a while ago, but he does have a cannon and battery in the mineral. Yeah, gonna chase down some more of this. Well, medevac gets sniped out of the sky with mostly Marines inside. And herO, for the first time in the mid-game, actually has a decent supply to compete with Clem. Now, this is an awkward scenario. Is he going to take down the rock tower? Do it. Take the rock tower! I need to see it. He could... Well, he goes for the triple drop. Loses 1 medevac. Loses the Raven. Clem in a bit of an awkward position. The medevac's just flying around, trying to figure out what to do. Another one almost certain Selecta. That's one way that could end. Meanwhile, picks up the rest. Now attacking over to the right side again. A trail of Widow Mines is left for herO on the way down. He's going to snipe off the base. Reinforcements are coming across. I think herO's just going to be able to slice him up, though. What? And in much the same way herO doesn't, Clem just taps out of the game. When the going gets tough, the Clem gets going. I mean... Clem. Where's my... It's not great, clearly. But he has more workers. It's not great. Okay, it's a tough position. herO likely comes across the map and wins the game. But we are robbed of the experience of seeing that. And you know what? He's up 2-1. So, just get into the next game. That one didn't go his way. herO deflected, batted down, the Widowmine drop, slapped away the Hellions, and found himself in a decent position. But, honestly, of all the things about Clem, my main criticism is that sort of, well, didn't work out, GG, which is totally understandable, especially if you're practicing all day. But as a commentator, as an entertainer, as someone who wants a few more minutes of watch time to get that juicy ad revenue, well, not as enthused about it. And that's where herO comes in. The difference there, herO actively scouting the whole game, had an idea of what he was dealing with. And despite it looking like a scrambled defense, it ended up being just fine. Like losing 5 probes to deal with the mine drop cleanly and quickly. Not too bad. Hellions cleaned up, and he was able to keep tab, and then sniping off the siege tanks. The way herO plays is just tilting. Like, just existing. herO sometimes manages to get his opponents going the wrong way. In fact, Clem was kind of doing what herO did in some of the previous, just sending everything across and hoping it works. Didn't work out for herO either, but... That's still a long way to go on Maganatha. One of our more interesting new maps. A whole lot of bases and a whole lot of destructible rock towers that can create... That probe. Now be careful not to stub its toe, which doesn't have to be too careful because it doesn't have any toes. But if you'd like to see some toes, you can check out my Dronely fans by subscribing. Or something like that. herO takes the conspicuous watchtower. If you take down this rock tower, it destroys the watchtower. And then you can take down those rocks and take the base. The Rube Gold base machine there. Well, Adept. Marine's already here to deal with it. Gonna force the issue. He did tap on the SCV, so could potentially snipe it, but not gonna commit. He doesn't have a sentry, so doing the... Clem tries to let the Adept in. Doing the shove your Adept shade against the depot plays is best opportunity for scouting here. Stalker. And there, until the Cyclone comes out, there's no easy way to deal with the Stalker. So, just have to dance back and forth. He didn't invest in the bunker, so that means his Marines will take a decent amount of damage. Though there's a medevac on the way. Ooh. Nice, the rocks. And now the Adept is gonna may kill an SCV, but the Cyclone locks on and will take out the Stalker. He may even get the Adept as well. Oh, but the Adept will get some of the Marine. Wow. 3 kills. Honestly, again, herO turning a kind of needlessly desperate situation into a dramatic outcome. He undercuts some of the power of this. Well, likely if the Marines had all lived, Clem loads them up in the medevac and then just drives the Cyclone across because it's pretty quick on its own. But we've got the clone Marine drop. herO clearly aware that that's a possibility and is already ready to deal with it. Blink is seconds away, so I'm very well aware of that. I'm arguably the 3rd best Protoss player in the world. In Protoss versus Terran, at least. He knows both sides of this story. He's faking Cloak with an interference matrix. I don't know if he's anticipating a hallucinated Phoenix, or if he actually wants interference matrix. It's a little odd to do that blindly. Because, of course, herO, if he had anything here, which he doesn't, can't see that it's interference matrix upgrading, which is cheaper than Cloak, which is why, if you're going to fake it... Did he misclick it? Because he might finish it. The boys are on the way. I think he may have misclicked it. Wait a second. Clem. And herO blunks into the main. This is all happening while Clem's army is halfway across the map. He can just recall out. He's got to do it quickly. And he does. Before the tanks can even siege. The probes are pulled into battle yet again. But the Banshees do not have Cloak. Not that it would matter. There's an observer overhead. Clem misclicked interference matrix. Get him blinking back with the prism. After Blankenfoot loses the prism. But, well, this is a mess. 17 probes dead. Many of the SCVs as well. 17 SCVs and 17 probes dead, but herO has 3 bases. A brutal exchange for both sides. But herO has a bunch of Blink Stalkers now. He actually canceled the interference matrix. I still am not sure whether he wanted cloak or he was trying to fake it and forgot. But either way, a bit of an awkward scenario. And this is definitely advantage to herO. As with the Blink Stalkers, especially against very limited starport units, he's going to be able to get into the main. Clem gonna snipe off a few probes. The shield battery not quite in position. Oh no, it's not a super pylon. Meanwhile, hero's in the main base though. Gonna pick off a significant percentage of the remaining SCVs. Does he have recall? He used it. No, he's still like a minute out. He's gonna kill way more SCVs. But eventually these stalkers likely will get hunted down. He's waiting on the blink, but there's another siege tank. He gets around to the corner. Meanwhile, back at home, that Banshee finding more kills will be taken down. Another absolutely brutal game. Another, oh no. That medevac was big. That medevac just wandering over with Marines inside, no longer threatening. There's one, why is there one, don't worry about it. herO, he doesn't have charge. Clem's coming across the map. He's at 27 SCVs. Like that one stalker in herO. There's an observer overhead here. I am wondering. Stim is not done. Clem knows about the observer. So he's trying to play off that information, but herO blocks forward. The tanks in front pushed forward by the Marines. A single immortal, not so great against Marines, but certainly doesn't hurt to have. And herO, oh my. This game went sideways. And herO, more than happy to embrace the chaos. Clem down 40 supply. There's no... Clem fighting it out. He's gonna try to go until Stim gets it in a moment. Takes out the observer, but does that matter? Hits the stims. Stalkers! I don't... Wait, blink it from the low ground or the high? I don't... It doesn't matter now. Wow, well done, says Clem. Which feels pointed, but is technically a compliment. And we're not done. It's 2-2. A very interesting compliment to be sending out at this exact time, but here we are. Okay. Clem struggling to match herO's energy when it comes to the chaotic base trades, which is usually something Terran thrives in because of the much more mobile nature, robust nature of their economy and many of the parts of the unit composition with medevacs being added in. But herO just commits. Clem over halfway across the map, too far to go home, and not close enough to do damage quickly. Oh, herO. Oh, he's hitting him with the 2-gate. In Game 5, herO staring down the barrel of a reverse sweep. He's like, pull the trigger, bro. And I'm like, that's not how that works at all. Oh, my. Well. Ah, you know what pairs well with cheese? Balance wine. And Clem is again gonna go for the 1-Rax expand. Is he that suspicious? He's just scouting across. This actually will... The SCV will scout in time. But Winter, when they raised the worker count to 12, they made it so you can't cheese anymore. herO said, hold my soju. I can't drink it. I'm Protoss. I don't have a mouth. I'm sure there are other ways. Moving on. Gets into the main. There's no second gas. There's no second nexus. Cancel everything. Cancels the command center. He knows something's coming. It's very likely a 2-gate. He's figured it out. But can he stop it? This is not a wall. There's only going to be one Marine. And, wait, can the Stalker get in? It cannot. I'm pretty sure the Zealot can. Come on in. Wait, is that a wall? Well, herO wouldn't know. He had to test it. SCV in position. It's not that much damage here. So now both players are expanding. herO's expanding to his natural, and Clem on the high ground. A bit of a safer location. Using the Adept Shade to try to put some damage on the supply depot. And then using the Adept itself, which is not as, didn't sign up for that. I'm gonna try to get vision. It's a bit of a convoluted methodology, but it works. The Zealot as well, using a little bit of the shields here to try to maintain. And a Sentry. Will we just show the Sentry? He wants him to come down the ramp. It's a trap! Oh, he doesn't know about the Sentry. I think he just saw it. Oh, but he has vision of the high ground. He could force field still. And now we dance. If he gets the Cyclone. Oh, the dancing of death. This is like an arcade map right now. Either he hits the force field or he doesn't. He did! But the Cyclone slips off to the side. And gonna do a lot of damage to the star. Almost kills it. And now there's not enough, but there's enough Stalkers. And that is a wall. herO keeps testing it too. He's like, guess not. And that Sentry almost has enough energy for, it has enough for another force field. Clem is locked in his base. herO living rent-free on his side of the map and in his head throughout this series. That's a dub shade keeps coming out. Let me in. It'll be fine. Did he notice? Yes, he did. That's force field's the ramp. Did enough get down? Wait, it's not a perfect force field. The rest of the Marines made it down. Juggling a second Cyclone. The Sentry under fire locks on. Should be able to finish it off. The Cyclone. Enough damage to kill off another Stalker, chasing down yet another. And he has the medevac with which to micro. So herO, not quite able to keep the contain as tight as he might have liked. Dodges the hits. He's trying to bait him into the siege tank. herO taking big hits. Loses the medevac though, Clem. Ooh. Not ideal. Wandering a little far forward, but herO. Again. All right, herO has blink done. It's been a long process here. Clem is in a very awkward scenario. An observer is now overlooking everything, but oh, the Raven is out a split second after it could have been used. He locks out if he gets the obs. Oh, the blunk! Great snipe from Clem. Incredible. But herO still has plenty of Stalkers. He warped in. He's just going forward. The tank's at the back. Belongs forward. Tries to get on top of the tank. Goes for the Raven instead. Trying to salvage the situation. Up to the high ground. chasing down the Marauders inside the base. herO. There's Stim and Combat Shield on the way, but herO managed to get the Stalker Prism in position well before Clem really had an answer to it. Clem's just continually trying to build up the correct army, and it's just taking too long. herO is all over the place. Here's the thing. If he loses this Prism, or even a few of the Stalkers, he may lose the critical mass of units to stop the momentum of Clem coming across the map. There's charge on the way. Here's that 53 workers to 50. Clem is building a third command center. So he's keeping his options open. But herO is trying to shut them yet again. There's only the C. Honestly, he probably could have blunked on that. Medevac's on the way. Clem. He doesn't. Does he have an engineering bay? He does, but he hasn't started +1. The drops about to. Well, this is awkward. Whose drop is it anyway? herO! Before the medevac could even go down, Clem quick on the G's. I don't know if I can call them rage quits. He's done it before, but I think he got chastised enough. But still, oh my. herO, with the reverse sweep, pulls the tablecloth out and somehow... Clem with it. herO just makes the whole series about himself. And he looks good while doing it. The Smiling Assassin takes yet another decisive series against a Team Liquid Terran. Yes, it was dramatic. Yes, it went to the very end. And you did as well. So thank you for watching. I certainly hope you enjoyed. It's from Wardi Mondays, which you help support through me on Patreon. So if you got the means and motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But I hear liking and subscribing is still free. At least for now. So thank you for watching. Hope I made your day just a little bit better. Congratulations, herO. And good luck, have fun. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Stay chill. What a mess.